The python managed to catch an antelope and deal with it, but then a lioness appeared. She doesn't care about the snake's size and its strength. The predatory cat easily took the python's prey. The reptile had to retreat to avoid becoming a meal. Unfortunate, isn't it? The python tried to resist, but the lioness quickly demonstrated who owns these hunting grounds. And we will show you other stories when snakes faced unexpected resistance. This large venomous snake wasn't afraid of these small, cunning creatures running through the forest in search of food. It's a shame. This is a raccoon dog, known for its astonishing agility and veracity. Despite its facial markings resembling a raccoon, this animal is a distant relative of foxes. Even though it's small, it proved brave, as witnessed by the reptile. It attempted to fight the adversary, but the dog retaliated with remarkable tenacity. When the beast grabbed the snake, it counterattacked, but the raccoon dog's incredible reaction speed allowed it to evade. It spat out the snake, dodging its strike, yet it didn't retreat. Instead, the predator approached the reptile again, studying it carefully. Just watch how keenly the animal reacts to the snake's slightest movements. Ready to jump back at any moment, it, however, develops its attack and seizes the snake again, this time by the head. A bite at the base of the neck breaks the snake's spine, preventing it from injecting its victim and inflicting critical damage. In the end, this pair of charming creatures now has lunch. The hedgehog angered a venomous snake, which immediately launched an aggressive attack on the nearby creature. However, the hedgehog didn't lose composure and resisted the opponent. It curled into a ball, leaving the poisonous reptile with only the option of poking its needles from any side and height. The rattlesnake began circling the hedgehog, searching for a flaw in its defense. Finally, the reptile had enough. A lightning-fast bite, but the venomous fangs couldn't penetrate the dense layer of needles and tough fur. The hedgehog managed to escape. The snake had to slither away. It didn't know who it was dealing with. Now the reptile's mouth would ache for a long time due to encountering the sharp needles of the hedgehog during this very foolish attack. And the hedgehog calmly watches it go. It seems like it was peacefully dozing all this time. Such resilience deserves your like, doesn't it? The raccoon is in a battle with a venomous viper. The raccoon, still very young and small, may seem in trouble, desperately needing help due to its swift movements with its front paws. However, it's not panic or a last-ditch attempt to escape an inevitable fate. This is a tactic. The raccoon relies on its sharp teeth and supplements jaw actions with sharp and soft blows with its paws, reminiscent of a massage. The raccoon isn't trying to tear the snake apart with its claws. Instead, the creature simply keeps the opponent on the ground, preventing it from counterattacking while the fangs do the main work. The battle takes place at a very close distance, with the raccoon literally lying on the opponent. Could it really avoid the venomous fangs at such a range? Turns out, it can. Such close contact allows the raccoon to react instantly to every move of the opponent. The damage inflicted by the creature to the reptile is critical. It can barely move and is gradually losing strength, but is ready to fight to the end. Therefore, the clever raccoon jumps back to avoid unnecessary risks. It grabs the snake by the tail, but the reptile no longer has the strength to wriggle and reach the enemy with its venomous teeth. The raccoon notices this and finishes off the opponent. Here comes another small creature down the fence. Does it really want to help our hero? It's amusing to watch as the victorious snake slayer is unwilling to share its prey with a relative and drags the reptile's body away, trailing behind like a string. The Fennec foxes are renowned for their distinctive appearance. To make thermoregulation more efficient, they've evolved huge, sharp ears, while their bodies are small with short paws relative to their heads. This makes Fennec look incredibly cute. But not for the desert snake. This snake didn't know what it was dealing with, otherwise it might have behaved more actively or, conversely, tried to hide. Instead, the reptile took a wait-and-see position, allowing the Fennec to study it and choose the optimal angle for attack. Neither the snake nor we expected such speed from the small creature. The Fennec attacks like lightning. The reptile tries to resist, but the nimble fox easily dodges counterattacks, grabs the snake with its jaws, tears its scales, inflicts deep wounds, and robs it of strength for further assistance. The Fennec isn't in a hurry, but doesn't delay either. It conserves energy and water reserves in its body while acting aggressively. The combination of these qualities achieved only through the precision of each moment, composure, and astonishing accuracy of strikes. The Fennec is aware of the danger of the snake's venom and avoids the snake's fangs at all costs, yet acts incredibly confidently. Thanks to this relentless pressure, the snake loses this battle and becomes a real meal for the desert predator. This little and cute hedgehog seems unprepared for desert life. The only chance to survive a snake encounter is to run as fast and far away from such an enemy, right? Hedgehogs are predators that usually hunt insects and other invertebrates. This hedgehog had quite a challenging day. It managed to catch a centipede, but apart from that, there was no other food nearby. It was very hot, so the little one dug a hole in the sand. Just a couple of inches, a few centimeters deep, the temperature was quite comfortable. This saved the hedgehog from a sudden owl attack. The hedgehog was lucky, but admit it was a day full of stress. That's why at night, the irritated hedgehog decided that he had had enough of insects and attacked the desert snake. The venomous, aggressive, and super fast snake definitely didn't expect such a turn of events. The hedgehog is small enough for the reptile to consider him dinner, but the creature is not afraid of the opponent and just goes on the offensive. In this story, the snake is not the hunter, but the prey, and the hedgehog makes that clear with its behavior. The reptile didn't anticipate such a bold and straightforward attack. It attempts to bite and inject venomous fangs into the prey's body, but is unaware of what it's messing with. Note that this viper, right here, is small compared to a human, but still manages to be intimidating even through the screen. However, the hedgehog is a rather small creature itself, and its eyes are at the same level as the snake's eyes. For the hedgehog, the reptile is a huge opponent twice its size. Yet when the viper lunges to strike, the hedgehog doesn't panic. Instead, it fearlessly and swiftly reacts. It defends itself with quills that the snake's venomous fangs cannot penetrate to reach the animal's skin. Then the hedgehog counterattacks, using its strong jaws to quickly deal with the snake. At night, the cold-blooded snake isn't as fast as during the day. Its reaction is slowed due to the low ambient temperature, and the hedgehog's jaws easily crack the chitinous armor of the giant centipede, and they handle the snake's scales just as effortlessly. Alright, a hedgehog might handle a desert viper, but a black cobra? I mean, that's an unbeatable foe, right? Turns out, not quite. This hedgehog noticed a huge and intimidating snake that assumed a defensive stance and spread its hood. The aggressive reptile that can bring down a lion with just one bite. But the hedgehog pays it no mind. It looks at the snake from bottom to top and calmly, straightforwardly, and confidently advances towards it. The cobra is surprised and hovers over the opponent in a last attempt to intimidate it. The hedgehog nearly crawls under the cobra's hood, sniffs its belly, and disdainfully moves aside. The reptile's threat made no impression on the little one. It retreated not out of fear, but simply because it's inconvenient to attack the cobra's broad hood with its narrow jaws. Its tail is a whole other story. The hedgehog immediately sinks its sharp needle-like teeth into it. They embed into the reptile's body, and it starts writhing, attacking the audacious adversary at the same time. However, the needles securely protect the hedgehog from the snake's bite. No matter how potent the reptile's venom is, it can't do anything until it enters the victim's body. The needles snugly fit together and cover the tough fur, forming a reliable armor. Moreover, when the snake strikes such defense, it injures itself because the needles are sharp and deeply embed into the cobra's body. Meanwhile, the hedgehog continues tearing the scales on its tail, biting deeper into its prey. The cobra manages to slither away and escape, but only due to its size. It's 4 times larger than the hedgehog, which was biting its tail until the very last moment. Backing down from such a tiny adversary is a disgrace for one of the most venomous, cold-blooded predators on the planet. A brightly colored bird with a yellow-green body and a bluish head, small in size with a thick beak. Overall, it doesn't really look like a predator, but right now it's behaving like a furious hunter. Watch as it swoops down on the venomous snake, delivering fierce strikes with its sharp beaks. The reptile is bewildered by such aggression, and the feathered foe caught the snake amidst a crumbled hillside, where the uneven terrain with sharp edges prevents the reptile from maneuvering or quickly striking in different directions. The snake is trapped and can only attempt to retreat, while the bird showers it with a barrage of attacks. But if you think this bird simply took advantage of a lucky tactical positioning, then watch this brutal showdown on a level road. A dangerous snake, hunting the bird, attacked our feathered hero. It was a big mistake, and the reptile will pay dearly for it. The feathered hero doesn't attempt to escape, but delivers a fierce counterattack, hitting the snake right in the eye with its sharp beak. The bird even lifts the snake's head by the eye socket off the ground to make sure it has deprived the enemy of vision, at least from one side. In this position, the reptile can't reach the bird with its venomous fangs. The bird releases the snake, shocked by such aggression. It expected to have a hearty meal, but instead, it angered a truly formidable fighter. The snake is quite large, and dealing fatal wounds to it with such a small bird is too challenging and risky. However, the eye strike significantly impairs the snake's spatial orientation. Moreover, this reptile is in pain and cannot hunt effectively. Perhaps with its bold approach, the bird managed not only to defend itself, but also to save potential future victims from this snake. A worthy resistance against the aggressor, don't you agree? This hedgehog was strolling in a semi-open tunnel on the hillside and suddenly noticed giant quills. It was a porcupine. Seemed like a meeting of 2 brothers, the younger and the elder. However, it turned out that the porcupine was a bit preoccupied. It was battling with a huge python that decided to attack the creature. Notice the partly bare skin on the porcupine's tail and back. It might look like he's sick or injured, but in reality, most of the quills are just stuck in the body of the enemy. Yeah, you got that right. The porcupine looks a little bit roughed up because it is winning, not losing. When a large python, almost the size of a small car, attacks it, the porcupine responds by turning its back and making several sharp movements towards the snake. This not only deflects the opponent's attack, but more importantly, pierces its body with quills, inflicting several puncture wounds that could literally devastate the reptile's internal organs. The porcupine attacks by turning its back to the enemy, which is a unique tactic that doesn't seem particularly fearsome at first glance. But look at the snake. It's bewildered by such force. The porcupine acts very aggressively. It's massive and, besides the quills, employs a ramming technique, stomping the python into the dust, pounding it into the ground. Even a nimble leopard would find it challenging to extract quills from a wound. The python has no chance of getting rid of the porcupine's gifts. Even if it survives, it won't last long after retreating. In the hot tropical climate, wounds with embedded quills will quickly become infected. Infections will set in, exacerbated by the poor condition of the porcupine after the lost battle. The python is doomed. But the hedgehog didn't choose this route without reason. While the large porcupine deals with the enormous python in its weight class, the hedgehog also confronts the snakes. Not as long, but still venomous. Credit needs to be given where it's due. It attempted to attack the hedgehog in its unprotected face. If the venomous fangs had embedded in the creature's nose, the venom would have stopped its heart within a minute. but the hedgehog proved to be a tough fighter, relying not only on defense but also on reaction speed. In this regard, the little one excels. Only with slow-motion footage can you actually see how quickly it dodges the opponent's venomous fangs. The battle takes place at close range, so besides speed, the direction is a crucial factor. If the hedgehog had turned sideways, jumped backwards, or raised its head, the snake's second strike would have been fatal. Instead, the hedgehog made the only right move, tilting its head, simultaneously evading the snake's attack and presenting its quills against the reptile. The snake tried to penetrate this defense, but only ended up injuring its mouth. The armadillo has a reputation for being a cute and rather timid creature that, at the slightest threat, goes into a defensive mode, curls its body into a ball, and waits for the enemy to retreat, unable to penetrate its protection. However, the armadillo behaves this way only when it encounters large predators like lions or jaguars. Snakes are an entirely different matter. While foraging, the armadillo resembles a living vacuum cleaner, strolling through the forest and carefully exploring its undergrowth. The diligent creature with its elongated snout looks so adorable that one might want to shout, "Watch out, there's a snake nearby!" Yet the armadillo is fully aware and couldn't care less. The reptile chose the wrong adversary here, not someone it could intimidate or defeat with a single bite. A strike, and the venomous fangs hit the armadillo. Though startled and recoiling, the creature sustains no injuries. The venomous fangs couldn't do anything thanks to the animal's protective armor. If you think the armadillo got lucky, then you're assessing the situation incorrectly. In reality, luck favored the snake. It turned out to be large enough for the armadillo to ignore it as prey and continue on with its business. It simply couldn't be bothered. Slightly shorter, but the most dangerous venomous reptiles for the armadillo, those are the favored treats. Moreover, the animal doesn't even have to curl into a ball since its armor provides such an excellent protection. See what happens when a rattlesnake attacks the armadillo. The snake literally propels its head at bullet speed, exposes its venomous fangs with hemotoxin that destroys blood, and just shatters against the armor. The effect is akin to bullets bouncing off Superman. The armadillo doesn't even flinch. The sharp venomous fangs of the rattlesnake are not powerful or resilient enough. They literally break against the armor of the small but fierce creature, and the snake experiences a jolt as if it rammed its head into a stone. Not a scratch is left on the armor. And while giant snakes can pose a threat to the armadillo, here's what happens when this armored beast encounters a snake only 1.5 times larger than itself. This can't even be called a duel. More like domination. The reptile stands no chance. It seems like the armadillo doesn't take the opponent seriously at all, and instead of employing any strategic tactics, just bites wherever it feels like. It's just checking where it would be most convenient to grasp the enemy with its teeth. The snake wriggles, fights, and tries to bite, but none of its counterattacks yield any results. The armadillo simply ignores them. Its robust skin, covered with natural armor, makes it completely invulnerable to an opponent of such dimensions. Eventually, the armadillo efficiently deals with the snake, crushing its attempts to resist. Escape is out of the question, as the opponent quickly grabs and easily restrains it. Betting on a single weapon like venomous fangs is not an effective option against the armadillo. For its skin, the snake's venomous teeth are like shots from a pistol against a tank. Even if the anaconda is not the longest snake in the world, it is certainly the strongest. By body weight, it surpasses longer pythons, and all that mass comprises of powerful and reliable muscles. The anaconda lunges at its prey, seizes it with its jaws, and almost instantly envelops it in the coils of its flexible body. This tactic rarely fails, as shedding the weight of the snake's body, equivalent to a small minibus, is almost impossible for anyone. Contrary to common misconception, the anaconda doesn't have to seek the neck to strangle its opponent. It simply compresses the body and torso at any point, already causing severe damage. Bones can't withstand it, internal organs suffer critical injuries, Each subsequent breath becomes more challenging and painful than the previous one, and due to the comprehensive compression, blood pressure in the vessels rises so much that the prey is practically stunned by this effect alone. However, even with such an arsenal, attacking a jaguar was a significant mistake, even for a fully grown and enormous anaconda twice as long as a panther. The jaguar may yield to the lion and tiger in mass, but it possesses an incredibly muscular body. Under the beast's skin, you can see its tight muscles tense as the predator crouches, executing each precise movement. Power, agility, and the exquisite precision of movement coordination allow the jaguar to free itself from the grip of the anaconda before the snake inflicts serious damage to the panther. The cat manages to break free, but this is not the end, only the beginning. The jaguar wants to teach the anaconda a lesson and launches a counterattack. The snake slithers into the water, but it doesn't save her. Unlike other panthers, the jaguar not only knows how to swim, which is typical for all large cats, but also enjoys doing so. Moreover, it is so agile that it can even hunt in the water. The fact that the panther can't see the anaconda doesn't bother the cat at all. With lightning-fast movements, the jaguar locates the enemy and starts striking it, then clamps down with its jaws. The bite force of the jaguar is several times greater than that of a lion, and the anaconda, despite all its length and power, can't endure it. By clenching its teeth, the panther literally paralyzes the enemy. The anaconda tries to at least block the jaguar's snout, entwine its nose and mouth, but the opponent is way too strong. As a result of this battle, the jaguar triumphs over the anaconda and brings it as lunch to its family. By the way, notice that this is a black jaguar, while its mate and cubs have the usual spotted coloration. The dark coat color is passed on by a recessive gene, so all the offspring of this super strong fighter inherited the coloration of the other parent. But perhaps the grandchildren will also be black. With such a powerful, fierce, and loyal father, the jaguar cubs have every chance to survive, grow, and start their own lineage. Which case, where a snake faced a severe backlash impressed you the most today? When a large beast defeated the reptile, or an unexpectedly strong small adversary? Let us know in the comments, and do not forget to subscribe. That way we'll see each other more often.